So you've hit level 25. What do you do now? I am going to give you a couple options. We're going to go over the pros and cons of each and hopefully get you to level 45 as quick as possible. If you kept up with the main storyline quest, which you should because they offer you a crazy amount of XP, then you should have a quest called Destiny Unearthed, which is going to take you into your first expedition. If you don't know what expeditions are, they're basically the equivalent of dungeons from WoW. You're going to go in, fight a series of bosses, and have a good chance of getting some high-tiered loot out of it. You're going to need at least 3 people to get into the expedition, but usually it takes 5 to get through it successfully. You're usually going to need a tank, a healer, and 3 damage players to get through the expedition. The expedition itself doesn't really give that great of XP, but the surrounding quests offer you quite a bit. Make sure you talk to the dog that's outside of the expedition before you go inside. He's going to offer you an extra quest. If you're above level 33, he's actually going to offer you 2 extra quests. One of these quests is for the Amarin expedition, and the other is for Shattered Obelisk, which is just north of Amarin. The Amarin quest is going to offer you 4,900 XP, and the Shattered Obelisk quest is going to offer you 6,700. These quests are repeatable, so you can complete them every time you run through the dungeon, so you could just run through the dungeon a bunch of times and just keep completing these quests for a lot of XP. Because these quests offer such a good amount of XP, you can usually find some higher level players that are going to be willing to run you through the expedition easily. A lot of people look for an easy way to level up, so they just try to run through these expeditions over and over and over again and just get these quests done quick. The issue with this tactic is that to get into the expedition, you're going to need a tuning orb for that specific expedition. These are decently hard to come by, but luckily the main storyline quest is going to give you an orb for Amarin. And if you talk to William Heron in the Everfall Tavern, he's going to give you a side quest that's going to give you a tuning orb to get into the Shattered Obelisk expedition. Use these orbs as leverage to get people to join your group. Only one person needs an orb to get into an expedition, so you can fill that role. When you're looking for a group, you can usually ask your company first. Usually it's pretty easy to find people in your company that are willing to run things with you. If you can't find somebody there, you can go into a nearby town that has a lot of people in it and just ask in general chat, or you can go into recruiting chat and ask there. Again, if you have an orb, make sure to mention it because people are going to be more willing to join your group if they know that you have one. Once you get through the expedition, you're going to want to always follow through your main storyline quests. They're usually going to offer you the most XP for the time that you have to commit to them. So if you're looking for a lot of XP fast, make sure that you're caught up on your main storyline quests. You can keep up with these until about level 40, where the main storyline is going to lead you into another expedition, but I recommend being at least level 45 before you enter that one. There's a few important things you need to know for that expedition, but I'm going to save that for the 45 to 60 guide that's going to come out in the future. So if you're interested in that, be sure to like and subscribe. Outside of the main quest, there's also side quest, faction quest, and town board quest. A lot of people forget about the town board quest, so don't be one of those people. Whatever area you're running quests in, make sure you grab all of these quests because usually you're going to be able to complete multiple at one time because a lot of them just send you the same area and ask you to kill the same mobs or collect boxes from the area that you're already killing mobs in. So you might as well just kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm going to get into both the pros and the cons of each type of quest, so that way you can level the most efficiently that you can. But before we do that, let's talk about where you should be leveling because that's probably why you're here. If you haven't noticed, each area on the map has a level threshold below it, but this isn't always completely accurate. Because of this, I don't necessarily recommend jumping to the next area as soon as you hit 25 unless you're leveling with a friend. It's likely if you're running solo that you're going to feel pretty under-leveled for these new areas, so usually the quests are going to be more trouble than they're worth. For this reason, if you have some quests left in your starting areas, I recommend you complete them until you level up a few more levels. Going back to quest types, both your main and your side quests are going to be marked with gold markers, and then your faction and your town board quests are going to be marked with blue markers. Your town board quests aren't always going to be marked because a lot of times it's just like collect simple items, and you could do that anywhere. You want to keep in mind that the gold quests are almost always worth more XP than the blue quests, but if you want to check, you could always look in your journal and see exactly how much XP you're going to get for completing that specific quest. Once you start running out of gold quests, that's usually a good indicator that it's time to move on to the next area. If you move into a higher level area and you still feel under leveled, you can always go to the different lower level areas and complete some quests there before moving on. If you are moving to a higher level area, your options are Brightwood, which contrary to its name is like a haunted forest area. You're going to be fighting a lot of ghouls and ghosts there, and your other option is Cutlass Keys, which is kind of like a swampy tropical area where you're going to be fighting some pirates and a lot of alligators and stuff like that. Most people tend to go to Brightwood because of its more centered location, but really you can choose either of them. When you're making your decision, I recommend looking to see if your faction controls one of the areas, because if they do, you're going to get bonuses from that. You can see what those bonuses are by opening up your map, clicking on the area, and then looking right here. When you're headed to the new area, you want to go straight to the main settlement because that's where you're going to get all of your quests. While you're headed there, be sure to keep an eye out for the blue lights in the sky. These are going to be fast travel locations. You want to grab as many of these as you can on your way in. Half of leveling is just traveling from the settlement to the quest location and back. So if you have a fast travel point, that's going to help you cut down your leveling time significantly. Fast traveling is going to cost you some Azoth, but if your faction controls the area that you're traveling to, it's going to cost less. And also, if you're carrying less on you, it's going to cost less. So be sure to put all your unneeded stuff in storage before you fast travel. Since you're in a new area, your standing is going to level up pretty quickly. The options I tend to go with are XP gain, but once you hit 60, this is kind of useless. Or if you think you're going to be spending some time in this town after you hit level 60, then I'll also go with storage. And then the third option I take is standing gain. This is going to make you level up your standing quicker. The reason I take this is because each time that you level up your standing, you're actually going to gain a pretty good chunk of XP. So the more times you can level up your standing, the more XP you're going to get. While you're at the main settlement in your new area, you want to make sure to grab all of the quests. So grab all of the gold markers, grab the quests that you can grab from the town board, and also visit your faction representative at that settlement. You want to make sure you grab all the PvE quests. You can also turn on PvP, which is going to give you 10% more XP as you're leveling. If you do this, make sure to take the bottom row of faction quests as well. The PvP quests tend to be the same quests repeated over and over and over again. Usually they're pretty simple, but they also tend to be boring and it's a lot of running. That's because if you fast travel, you are going to fail the PvP quests. Also, if you die, you're going to fail the PvP quests. So if you go and you complete one and then on your way back to the settlement, someone kills you or you die to a mob, you're going to get no progress from that. I don't really recommend turning on PvP unless you're with a group or you're confident that you're not going to run into a lot of higher level players. Personally, I like running around with PvP enabled. It's not because of the 10% XP boost, I just think it's a lot more fun. If you do decide to turn on PvP, a big tip is that if you go prone, it's actually going to hide your name tag unless enemies are like right on top of you. This is really good when it comes to avoiding people that massively outlevel you. All you have to do is just go prone and hope that they didn't see your name tag. Okay, let's look into town board quests. This is usually where people tend to get the most confused. Usually they can vary quite a bit. Some quests are going to offer you a lot of XP and some quests are going to offer you almost nothing. So you want to be mindful of the quests that you're taking. Usually they're just going to make you go and kill a specific enemy or obtain a specific item. If you don't mind spending some gold, town boards could give you a lot of XP really quickly, especially if it's just asking you to obtain a specific item. You could usually find the item that you need or the items that you need to craft that item in the trade center. Be careful because buying a lot of small things can add up really quickly. I recommend as you're leveling to level up your leatherworking and your weaving. Oftentimes my biggest XP gain has come from turning in a specific type of leather or cloth. A lot of times you can buy lower tiered leather for cheaper and then just craft it into the higher tiered level and turn it in. These quests can be really lucrative XP wise. If you look, I was able to complete this town board quest almost as soon as I got it. It asked for a decent amount of materials, but it gave me 7,000 XP really quickly, which I think honestly is worth it. If the town board is looking for a specific item like bait, you can actually go into the trade center, search that item, and then scroll over the picture. If you look at the description, it's going to tell you how to find this bait. Usually it's something really simple like collecting bushes or flint, but these can take a lot of time if you go out of your way to do them, so I don't necessarily recommend doing these. If you don't want to do a town board quest, all you have to do is accept it and then cancel it, and then if you look in the top right of your screen, you'll see this timer. When it hits 0, the open spots that you have in your time board are going to be filled with new quests. If the settlement that you're in doesn't have a lot of upgrades or stuff like that going on, you may not be offered a lot of town board quests. So sometimes you'll open up the town board and you'll see that there's only like 3 quests in there. The main way to level up is basically to just run around the area that you're in and complete as many quests as you can. Once you completed all your side quests in your area, or you've hit a point where the quests are just too difficult to complete, you have a few options. First is to check your level. If you're on the lower end of the spectrum for that area, you may actually not have unlocked all the side quests yet. If this is the case, you can run faction or town board quests until you hit the next level. Also, if the side quest that you're stuck on says elite, you're probably going to need multiple people to do that quest, so you can look for a group for that. Or you can look for a group that's running the Amaran expedition. Like I said, running it over and over again can get you a good amount of XP. If you're a high enough level, you can consider jumping over to Weaver's Fin. It's the next level up that's above Cutlass and Brightwood. Personally, what I did was I leveled up in Brightwood and I only ran the Amaran expedition twice, and then I was able to move on to Weaver's pretty easily. I had an awkward stage around level 38 where I basically just ran out of quests in Weaver's. I decided at that level to jump over to Restless Shores, which is a level 40 to 45 area. I was able to complete quests there, but kind of hit a hard wall around 42 and didn't really know what to do from there. What I now know my mistake was that I jumped to Weavers and Restless Shores a bit too early in levels. It didn't really seem like it because I was able to complete a lot of quests pretty easily, but then like I said, I got hard stuck at 42. If you feel like you're getting stuck, you should move over to the other level 25 to 35 area. So if you're in Brightwood, move to Cutlass. If you're in Cutlass, move to Brightwood, and then do some quests over there. Like I said, I didn't really struggle questing until I hit level 42, and then I actually ended up going back down to Cutlass. This may seem weird because I was way over leveled for that area, but it actually had quite a few benefits. If you're interested in what those benefits are, you can check out this video here where I talk about them. If you guys enjoyed or found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.